Today we're talking about the greatest not a tank of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bradley fighting vehicle. You know what, this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but that looks like a tank to me. I'm a simple man. If it walks like a tank, and it revokes birth certificates like a tank, as far as I'm concerned, it's a tank. I mean, in the case of the Bradley, it even parties like a tank with the tanks. But apparently I'm wrong because it's not a tank, it's an infantry fighting vehicle, or an IFV. And I'm gonna explain what that is right after a word from our sponsor, because this video is brought to you by my favorite sporting goods store, Shields. It's an employee-owned company with over 30 retail locations across the United States and an even better online store that I'm gonna have linked down below. They have everything you could possibly need for sports, hunting, fashion, anything at all. I mean, that's where I got this cool coat from. And I'm actually gonna go take it off now because I'm fat and I don't wanna get sweaty. Anyways, the IFV. I hate the acronym, Infantry Fighting Vehicle, because when the Bradleys show up, the last thing that's going to happen is a fight. This is going to be an assassination. Because the Bradleys are the epitome of the best defense is a good offense. You see, the Bradley's main gun is a 25mm Bushmaster chain gun that's capable of firing depleted uranium rounds, which is a fancy way of saying it can take out virtually anything on the battlefield except for a heavy tank. And even then, there's multiple accounts of it doing just that against enemy T-72s in Desert Storm. And that's not even the scary part. In addition to the 3-man crew, it also carries 4 to 7 fully kitted out grunts ready for battle in the back. And you know, if it's tank warfare, they may or may not have a javelin with them. And that's still not the scary part, because that's this, ladies and gentlemen, the mistletoe. I mean, the tow missile. I mean, they're basically the same thing, except with the tow missile, the only thing you're going to be kissing is your ass goodbye.
Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
TOW standing for tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided missile, meaning there's literally a wire coming off the back of the missile going all the way back to the Bradley, where someone inside is steering it like it's a shitty remote control car from the early 2000s. And while having the missile attached to a wire might make it seem like it's cheap, it actually makes a TOW missile completely unstoppable. You see, when you have a real human steering it via hardwired connection while it hurtles towards the enemy at a speed of Mach 1.1, the enemy has absolutely no recourse. There is no signal they can jam, there is no heat seeker they can trick. The only thing they can do is sit inside their tank like, wait, because there is no tank on the planet that is rated to withstand a hit from a TOW missile. And the craziest part to me about the whole thing is the TOW missiles actually outrange the main guns of most tanks. Each TOW missile has 2.3 miles of wire. And honestly, I don't even have a punchline for that. It just blows my mind. Oh yeah, well the Bradley still sucks because it has aluminum armor and it can get taken out by one shot from any tank on the battlefield. What happened to my camera? I look like a Japanese adult film. Hold on, I'll fix it. Anyways, yeah, sure, a modern tank could take out the Bradley with a single shot. However, to be fair, the Bradley can also take out any modern tank with a single shot. So that's an even playing field, but then you have to take into consideration that the TOW missile is more accurate because you can literally steer it while it's hurtling towards the enemy going the speed of Mach fuck, and the TOW missile still has a greater effective range than most tank cannons. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the advantage to the Bradley. But if you don't want to take my word for it, guess what? You don't have to, because we can just look back at history and see what actually happened. During Desert Storm, the Bradley took out more enemy tanks than the American M1 Abrams did, which also means that the Bradley took out more tanks than any tank in Desert Storm, period, despite the fact that it's not a tank. And if you want an even more specific example, during Desert Storm at the Battle of 73 Easting, 2 Bradleys went toe-to-toe with 8 T-72 tanks, and they were able to knock out 5 of them and then escape completely unharmed. Okay, look, in conclusion, at this point, I think instead of saying the Bradley isn't a tank, we need to start saying that tanks aren't Bradleys. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out.